So I'm really excited because what brought JD Frost on the show is his brand new book. Let's make sure we get all the coverage here. It's called Life Ledger. What keeps business owners stuck?
I think what keeps business owners stuck is their lack of clarity. Their lack of clarity in what their vision is and what they're trying to accomplish, their lack of clarity in what they really want. And so I talk about that at the very beginning of the book, where business owners typically get stuck, and they have the ability to be able to get unstuck. It's up to them as business owners. And until you take that ultimate responsibility, you're going to continue to be stuck or feel like that you're kind of in that rat race or on that hamster wheel, continuing to do the same thing over and over again and not getting a different result.
You talk about sometimes people are in survival mode, they're not thriving, and it takes a low point in your life, like with the alcoholism, knowing that something had to change. How did
That's right.
you rebuild yourself and the conviction of who you were?
I had to, I had to go through that low point. I had to go through an intervention. I had to go through a time that I really had no other choice than to change. And I was kind of given that those consequences and those circumstances handed to me. And I'm very, very grateful that that was my low. That's as low as I want to go. Like, I can honestly say that right now. And I think that the conviction at that time was more of a, I think having other people in your life to hold you accountable at that point in time is incredibly important. Mm-hmm. The conviction that I built came over time by changing my daily routine, by changing the things that I was doing on a daily basis. John Maxwell, someone that I follow, says in order to change your life, you got to change your daily routine, because a series of days is mm-hmm. what makes up our life, right? A yes. series of days and weeks, months, years. So in order to change my life, I got to change what I'm going to do tomorrow. I got to change what I do today. And I think that conviction was built up over time. But it took that lesson, that gut wrenching lesson mm-hmm. to make me change.
What was one of the first things you changed?
I'm sorry?
What was one of the first things you changed in your habits?
I started to create space for me to have more awareness. Mm-hmm. I read this book, The Everyday Hero Manifesto, by I think it's Robin Sharma, I believe is his name. Have you read that by chance?
I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
Man, great book. But in there, he says the more awareness you have, the better choices you make. The better choices you make, the better results that you will get. And so I think one of the changes that I made was raising awareness. And the way I did that was counseling, was through mentors that I had at the time, and also going to AA.
You know, people look at different strategies, and sometimes it's the smallest thing, that incremental thing that helps you make those shifts. But from what I have learned about your journey, and, you know, you hear about, you know, the setbacks that we have in life are our greatest comebacks. And you're mm-hmm. living proof that can be true. So I want to emphasize that to the people listening or watching us on YouTube, that there is opportunity no matter where you are right now, that you can thrive again. Where you are doesn't mean you're staying in that space. And you've created a mentality, the day one mentality or approach to life. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. Yeah. So, turning your setbacks into your comeback. The foreword of my book is written by Tim Story. If you follow him, he has a whole book about turning your setbacks into your comebacks. So that's why I was so happy for him to write this forward. But the mindset of day one is basically that every day is day one. Every day is a new beginning. And if I am working on changing my business, if I am going through a difficult time, if I am trying to stay sober, if I am trying to achieve a big goal, like I'm training for a marathon right now, every day is day one. So like when you start your new workout, when you start a new book, when you start a new job or a new business or whatever it is, that first day you're very excited. You have extra energy. You get there early. There's this zest for whatever the new thing you're doing. And so if we can approach every day like it's day one of that job, of that new workout, of whatever it is, of that streak maybe you're working on every day, then you'll be able to string together those day ones. So for me, I mean, one of the
Very powerful. So no matter if you trip up or you have a bonus day that's going great, that it's day one and tomorrow you need to show up again.
and one of the simplest habits I feel like in order to change your life, and this started happening for me, besides raising more awareness, but one of the simplest ways to change your life is to beat the sun up. If you're already beating the sun up, beat the sun up by 20 minutes earlier than you did before. I think that us as human beings, that man, we have this internal desire to be producing all the time and moving and going and doing and this and this and this. I don't think that we take enough time just for ourselves so that then we can pour into other people. So a very simple way to change your life is to just change the time in which you wake up.
And
The
what I
scaling,
find is you're going to do things that others aren't willing to do.
totally. Yes. Scaling starts with you. It completely starts with you. So how in the world, I mean, when I started building my business the first time, I built it up to 42 people. I couldn't go anywhere past those 42 people because I hadn't really worked on myself.
Right.
All that kind of ended up getting destroyed because of me in 2019, because of decisions that I made. And I was in the middle of, being sober, rebuilding my life. It's funny how our businesses ended up being the direct reflection of our personal life, and the business kind of trails behind the personal growth. So if you're having a setback personally, get ready. Your business is going to start to feel that eventually.
So take us to 2019. Tell us about how it felt you were working on getting control of your life, yet other parts were falling apart. And, I know people listening that there's someone out there who is probably feeling what you felt then. And I would love for you to share with them kind of where you saw in this darkness, where this light existed for change.
Yeah. Like I said, I'd gotten sober in 2018. I was continuing to work through that. I started to really pour into my personal life, my marriage, my family. Didn't mean that I neglected work, but it just wasn't the same. And so I ended up breaking up with a former business partner in 2019. And I did it in a way of just ending it very quickly. And that's really hard to unwind when that happens. And so during that time, lost about 738 clients, lost 34 people. We had people quitting every single week, leaving, not believing in the vision, not believing in the culture, said it was a toxic work environment. And looking back on it, it was. And I can admit it right now. The only thing that was able to give me some kind of light, some kind of belief at that time was the fact that I knew personally I was growing. And I had been taught by other mentors of mine, other people in my life that were able to say, look, I've been with you during the good times. I've been with you during this time. I know that you're working on yourself, and I know that the business is going to flourish once we get through this, but we got to go through this.
Right.
So I would encourage anybody who is going through that difficult time, through that setback in their business, through that setback in their marriage, this too shall pass. Start to pour into yourself as much as you possibly can. Like say, okay, however I have been living my life on a day-to-day basis up until now, tomorrow I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to start making myself a priority so that then I can pour into other people.
Right.
And know that it is going to be a long process. And that day one mentality will help you to enjoy the journey along the way, not just get through it.
Awesome. And I know since you've rebuilt and your company abides by core values of value, collaboration, vibe, and courage. Can you tell me what that looks like in action?
Yes. So in 2019, towards the end of it, I was when I first got sober, I got on social media, started changing the way that our business operated, started changing our culture significantly. And that led me to meet my current business partner, Paul Croft. Paul is a big believer, big visionary. If you've ever read the book Rocket Fuel, it's the second book to another one called Traction by Gino Wickman. And it talks about a visionary and an integrator, and a very ideal business partnership is for a visionary to be working with an integrator. Well, I'm an integrator.
Right.
Paul is a visionary. And so our core values, value, vibe, collaboration, courage, value, we on a practical basis always want to be providing value to our clients. I was on the phone with a Zoom call with a tax planning client today. We cut his taxes from a $39,000 tax bill down to a $16,000 tax bill by collaborating and working together and understanding and communicating on what actually happened this year, what transactions occurred, so that we could allocate those the right way to save money on taxes. So we're creating value in our relationship. Vibe, we want to have an incredible vibe with our clients, with our team, with our business partnership. So Paul Croft, big vibe guy, like just if it's a good feeling, if things are flowing, that's a good vibe. We want to always be mindful of the vibe. I was on a call with a client today as well. We had a bad vibe going on. It's a bad vibe. Like this isn't a good fit, and I can't overcome that. I have to approach it. I have to be honest about it and authentic and say, look, this just isn't working out. Those two things happened today. Collaboration. We had a meeting today with one of our managers, with one of our chief of staff, and we were collaborating together, coming up with a better way for our operations to work for 2023 tax season. So there's collaboration being lived out. And then courage. Paul Croft, my business partner, is a big courage before cash, he says all the time. So it takes courage to have conversations like I had today. It takes courage to be able to ask some of our lenders for more capital if we need it. It takes courage to be able to talk to our team and say, hey, this is the direction we're going now, even though it feels a little uneasy. This is uncomfortable, but this is our growth zone. There's no comfort in there's no growth in the comfort zone and no comfort in the growth zone. That takes courage. That's how we live those out.
Definitely. Because I know you're all about building courage and creating wealth. One thing that I really paid particular attention to is in your bio, not only is it your clients and partners that you're doing that with, you also help your employees build courage and create wealth.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we believe that our team is our first priority as clients. We believe that our team is our client. We want to help them build courage and create wealth. We want to change the way they think. That doesn't mean we want them to think exactly like us. Right. But if they are in a place right now that they are not satisfied with, they want to grow, they got to change the way they think. They got to get around other people. That's what helped me to change the way I thought when I was getting sober or when I was rebuilding our company. I had to change the way I thought. And so we are constantly working with our team. We are sending out invites to this webinar we have this week. It's how to build a blueprint for your 2023. I made sure that our HR director was texting and inviting each person on our team. We have about 90 people on our team now to
Right.
make sure they signed up for that first, not just our clients.
Yeah.
Because we're in the people business. We are in the build courage, create wealth business, which is different from most accounting firms. So we've got to first start with our team. If we can't change our team's lives, if we can't help them live out the 4 foundations of wealth creation, if we cannot help them to save money on taxes or increase their recurring monthly income, how in the world are we going to be able to help a client? You know?
Yeah. It makes me also think of a book that I've read called The Dream Manager by Matthew Kelly many years ago. And it was
Yes.
being an effective
Oh
leader,
man,
right? An
I
effective
love
leader.
that book. Yeah, I
So
love that book. I read that 2 years ago.
how have you been able to utilize that with your staff? Like, have you taken time to learn what some of their goals and dreams are? And have you seen progression in
Yes.
how that has transferred?
Yes. Yes. So one of my mentors, Grant Cardone, he said that the way the one action that has helped him to be the most successful is writing his goals down every single day, twice a day. I started in November of 2019 when I was rebuilding. I started writing down my goals every single day, twice a day. I was like, I'm going to do this. I've never seen Grant Cardone write down his goals. I'm not saying that he doesn't do it. I just hadn't seen it. He talks about it, but I haven't seen it. And I'm sure
Right.
he's done it. Sure, he
Right.
does it still, but I haven't seen it. So I was like, I'm going to be the goal writing guy. Like, I'm going to show people that I'm doing this. And I literally have done it every single day. I write down affirmations and goals now. But I got to write that down every single day. Another gentleman, Brandon Dawson, he was talking about helping your team reach their personal, professional, financial goals. That's a part of our mission now. So in order for us to live out our mission, we are here to help entrepreneurs build courage and create wealth so that they can reach their personal, professional, financial goals. So if we're going to help entrepreneurs do that, that would include our team. So we got to know what their goals are. And the way that we live out that dream manager, one of our team members wanted to start their own company. We helped her start a bookkeeping company. We referred business to her bookkeeping company. I had a guy just recently, they got engaged, and this guy asked his wife, his fiance, to marry him in this setting that literally we had a painting, it's a photograph, it looks like a painting. And he was like, hey, I want to take that. Like, can I buy that from you so that I can keep that at my house to remember that? I was like, dude, take it off the wall today. You know, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like is important. We have another individual, he wanted to create passive income. So this past year, he's invested more than he made the first year he worked with us because that was his goal.
Yeah.
So we have to, I mean, gosh, when you write a book about goals and dreams and fulfilling those and how to build a system to reach your goals, you better be talking to your team about that and know what those goals are.
I think it's amazing because, people read books and, some of my friends, they'll say, Deb, I've read this book and I've read this book. And I said, but have you taken something that you're going to integrate into your life, your practice, your business, your leadership? And it always excites me to hear that someone is doing it and it's in action, it's tangible, and you build loyalty.